This video is to cover the basics of waxing. You can also seal your DIY paint with the water-based top coat. Big Top is what I use. That's in another video. The first time I ever used colored wax, it was hard as a rock. I had to beat my brush. I was just like, please, please. This was on a huge armoire. Please, please, please. And then it was awful. It was so awful. I was just so turned off by colored waxes. I had used Johnson's furniture wax to wax my pieces forever. It actually, it's pretty smooth, but it stinks. You know you were doing toxicity. That because it's hot in Oklahoma, when I went to show you an example, it's melted, which is what I should have done the first time I used it. I should have took a heat gun. I wasn't using heat guns then. A blow dryer. I should have done oven, something. So I am taking my wax brush and putting wax on here. It's slinging, as you could see, and it's super smooth, and I used probably 3 times too much. I still cannot get used to how little you have to use. You just need to get it on there, get it covered, do circles, get it rubbed in. I'm doing a clear coat first. Okay, it's terrible. I would just dread every time. I'd be like, I don't want to wax. So now I'm a DIY retailer. Gold and butter. This is gold butter. They have clear, shipwrecked, which is a beautiful verde blue-green, white, dark, black. Non-toxic. You can put this on your lips if you want to. You can put it on lotion. You barely dip in, goes a long way. This does not smell. You will be happy. It's fun to wax with DIY wax. Yes, I sell this stuff. It's in the links. But I love it. I used to could not sell a stinking thing. You know why? Because I felt bad. Now I only sell products that I absolutely have my whole heart in and believe in, and I know they're getting a good product. Like, I feel good because it's not like I just sold them something. They got something that's gonna be game changers and enhance their projects, inspire to create. So there's my plug. You can use the colored waxes straight on your piece, but it is best to use the clear wax over the entire piece first and then go back and use the colored wax in the areas that you want it or over the entire piece. It is much easier to control because the clay paint is so porous. It will suck in the colored maybe stronger than you want. You won't be able to remove it as easy. If you've done the clear wax first, to use the clear and erase some of it by putting it on and using a cloth to wipe it back. So you can practice. I've done it both ways. Just add some pizzazz, and it's super functional. This is so cute. I love these little spring mechanisms. So somebody could take this and put hooks here, take these out, put hooks here, and use it for a jewelry counter. It could be set on the floor in front of your toilet. It could be set on your counter in your bathroom. So here I am using the dark wax, and I do what I call a shadow technique, and I am just putting it in certain spots just to give it some accents. You've seen how the white and the dark was kind of separated. I could have took a little stir stick and stirred the colors together. It was fine. It still worked out fine, but there's nothing wrong with the product. It just separated a little bit. Just a little tip, if you keep all the colors, write the color on the lid with the Sharpie. So the paper sticking out there means nothing. It was like a drop cloth for something I was doing on the inside. That would be another video. But here I'm just doing the edges to kind of just give some shadow technique, and I'm just blending it up with my brush, and I take a rag later and kind of wipe it to just make it blend a little more. So just have fun with these colored waxes, and they really add some dimension to what you're doing, and they're super fun and versatile, and they feel so buttery soft. DIY paint is clay, and it needs to be sealed with wax or a water-based top coat. Big Top is their water-based top coat, and it is a semi-gloss finish. If you use the wax, it's just a buttery finish. They can be used together. Seal it with the Big Top, and then you can take and use the colored wax or clear wax over the top to give it a little bit of water resistance.
You do not have to have one of these fancy Paint Pixie brushes, but they are amazing. This is called the Big Buffer, and you can get somewhere fast with it. And you wait for the wax to dry 24 hours for the highest sheen, and you just move the brush in circles. And then this is a smaller version of it. It's the same thing, just a different shape. I use them both for different reasons. Here is the same size wax brush, one with a long handle and one with the short handle, and I do have the links to these in the description box if you would like to purchase them. You can also use a t-shirt or lint-free cloth to give a sheen to your wax. Sometimes I forget to even buff them, but it does give it a shine if you will do it. You can layer your wax on for a little extra protection, let it dry in between coats, so just remember that.
So then I painted this. It was already this color. And I shadow what I call a shadow wax. So I clear waxed my DIY paint. Painted it on, let it dry, and then went back, and you can wet distress, which means just take a cloth, wet it back. Another video also. You can use a sander, an electric sander, which is what I did because I was quick, fast, and in a hurry. Is to wax. You would just put clear after it's good and dry and distressed all over it. I keep different brushes for my different colored waxes. And so I put clear on first so that you can have more control. See, I just shadow, what I call shadow waxing. And then I just went over a few spots and did that. And you can kind of wipe it back with a lint-free cloth. You can use this to apply instead of these beautiful, wonderful brushes that I also have links to in the description box. So these are Paint Pixie brand. This is just a cheap chip brush. If you're just getting started and you can't invest in this, that's fine. Get one of these, they're cheap. What I would suggest you do is cut the tip off, and it makes it more stiff and flat, which is what these brushes are for, waxing. So wipe it on, you can wipe it back a little bit. After it dries, they suggest 24 hours for a higher sheen. I don't know that I've ever been able to wait 24 hours. I actually did on this one, but normally I just have to wait a few hours and I gotta go because I'm so excited about getting it done. Use a lint-free cloth, cut up old t-shirts, and give it a buff with that after 24 hours. Or invest. If you're going hard and you're doing a lot, so expensive, so worth every penny. So when you can, grab one of these. If you need to do a step up before that, and for smaller projects, sometimes I like this because I have man hands, so this is great. But you might want, you know, littler. And so you just buff, that's it. And so these are great investments, but you can get by with other stuff to get going, right?
I gotta tell Karen to chill out.